you guys can tell, I'm a little bit more business professional than I usually am, and that's because today's insight video is going to be about autism and getting a job and doing a job interview and how to prepare for that. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys my experiences, as I will bring up later, and what I did to prepare, what I said, what I practiced on, and most of all, what I learned from the experience. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now, that this video, I feel, does not help any children with autism 15 years or younger. This does not go to them. This is not to help these children. Let them be kids. This insight video is for people with autism 15 and above, as well as their parents. Now, if you are a parent to a young child with autism and you are completely fearing the day where your autistic child is grown up and has to get a job completely on their own, my biggest hope for you is that you watch this video, and this video and what I have to say kind of helps ease the fears and kind of helps your stress level go down a little bit, and I'm able to provide some insight. And this is not just for the parents, that's for anyone who's watching this video who knows somebody with autism and who may have autism themselves. That's my biggest hope and biggest takeaway that you will take from this video. Alrighty guys, with all that now being said, let's go ahead and get down to business. Get it because I'm in business attire? No? Okay, I know. I'm not punny. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad portion of the video out of the way before I start talking about my experience, because I feel like I really must address this fact first before I talk about my experiences. Now, being someone with autism who is nearly done with college and on the verge of graduating and going out and getting a job, I am absolutely petrified of that day when that day comes. And I'm pretty sure many of you autism parents who are watching this video probably feel the same way that I do, or probably feel the same way that my mom does when it comes to having a child with autism and them having to go out and get a job. I recently read an article online that said that people with autism, upon graduating college and or high school, tend to have a very hard time finding a job and getting a job interview. Also in the article, it said that it was because of the sensory and mental limitations that we have. And I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but I honestly stand by that statement. I think that is absolutely true. I think it's because of the fact that most people with autism tend to be more socially awkward, myself included, and those of us with autism can't start a conversation or keep a conversation going, while some of us, like myself, still kind of struggle with that. But I think two of the biggest reasons is because we like being inside our own little comfort zone, our own little bubble around us, and being inside our own little world, that it would be almost a bad thing to step out of that comfort zone. But also it's because of our sensory limitations. You guys might be wondering, well, Taylor, what are sensory limitations? I'm going to explain it to you right now through pictures. Enjoy! Alrighty guys, so here is what I am talking about. Let's just take two people in this case. This is you and this is me. And let's just say this is how your brain is wired. Completely normal, completely manageable, and the envelopes are going to represent our sensory messages. Now, the way your brain works, you can process this information and tell these messages which part of the brain to go. Like the orange envelope go to the orange part, the purple one go to the purple part, the blue envelope go to the blue part, and the green envelope go to the green part of your brain. You can process that and have no problem. Now let's take me, and as you can see, it's a little bit hard maintenance, a little bit unmanageable, and then some. Now with me, it's very much different because my brain can process so much sensory information at a time, so probably about one envelope. Then it gets to the point where my sensory intake just doesn't know where to put all these sensory messages, to the point where eventually a sensory message is going to go wound up in the wrong place, and that's going to send me into an oversensory meltdown. Now let's bring our two little friends back in here so I can kind of explain it to you a little bit more. We're going to put them in the same scenario. So this guy has cars honking, yelling, a police car with the sirens flashing and the sirens going off, throwing the additional noise and the extra people. And the way he processes his information, he has no problem. He is A-OK. And I am very envious right now because with me, it is so much different. Throwing a honk, I'm okay. You then go into the additional yelling. I'm starting to feel a little bit off. Police car and sirens, I'm starting to get a little uneasy. Throw in the additional noise and the extra people, and I am a wreck. I just stop and freeze wherever I'm at, and I just break down, and I don't stop breaking down until everything's okay and everything stops, which is why these sensory limitations are so incredibly important to be aware of. I feel that with the sensory limitations and us being inside our own little comfort zone and our own little bubble, along with the sensory awkwardness and then the conversation issues that we have and the fact that most of us have a hard time making eye contact with people, I'm still trying to figure that out. It can be very, very, very hard for someone with autism to find a job. It can. It's just finding a job for any person is not easy, but for those of us with autism, it is much, much harder for those particular reasons. Okay, now that we got the depressing part of the video out of the way, now we're gonna go ahead and get into my experience and any tips or advice and insight that I could provide when it comes to getting a job and doing a job interview. Now, this mock interview assignment was just a practice interview. That way I have the experience and that way I know what to expect when I go out there for real and do a real job interview. I was thankfully pre-assigned a company and an interviewer for the interview, but I know that when I have to go out in the real world to find a job, I have to find and locate a job and a company completely on my own. So I contacted the person and we scheduled an interview date and time, which gave me plenty of time to prepare for this thing. Another thing that I did was I picked out my outfit the night before and laid it down neatly somewhere where I could just grab it, change real quick, and be ready. Another thing I would recommend for the girls, don't wear a lot of makeup, just wear something a little bit more natural. What I did to help with the eye contact was I took some commonly asked interview questions and I went into the bathroom and I just practiced my answers using a mirror. I looked straight at the mirror at my reflection and I answered all the questions for a couple of times. I think I did this for a few days. And then during the evening of the interview, I looked over the questions and I remembered my answers so that I can go in there with confidence and that I could know what to say. And that trick also does help with the eye contact. I made some really good eye contact during this practice interview. Another thing I would do is update your resume, but also take at least 2 to 5 copies of your resume as well, because you never know how many people you're going to be interviewed by. So it's always good to have a couple extra copies of your resume and references at hand. Another thing that I really had to work on was how much I move, because with someone with ADHD, I tend to move a lot. I tend to rock back and forth, and I tend to kind of like do stuff with my hands that I don't know why I'm doing, like why I do stuff with my hands. So what I did was that I had to practice sitting in a good posture, back straight, shoulders back, hands on the lap, feet not moving at all, and just completely professional. And I had to practice doing this, and it went pretty well. Alrighty guys, that's all I have for you. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, my biggest hope for all of you, especially those parents who have children with autism who are feeling the same way that I or my mom must be feeling right now. So guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys liked it. Also in the comments below, what are some job interview tips that you have? I look forward to reading and replying to your responses below. And finally, as always, if you guys like my videos and want to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and give this channel a subscribe. Well guys, that's it for now. Until next time, bye bye!